Meantime, we've got on the sports front here, Panthers training camp underway. We've got our sports director, Nick Carboni, standing by. So yesterday, we know, Nick, it was rookies. Today, it's veterans. What can you tell us about how things are going today? Any highlights that you're seeing, and what are we expecting over the next couple of hours as you start to put your reporting together for what happened so far this week?
Vanessa, Panthers training camp practice actually starts tomorrow at 10 o'clock, but you're right. Rookies like top pick Tetairoa, McMillan reported yesterday. All of the rookies are signed. There were some loose ends on that front, but that got cleared up over the weekend. Veterans reported to the building today. Now, just to take you inside a little bit, well, really we can't anymore, because when practice and training camp was in Spartanburg at Wofford College, we were able to see the guys drive up, take their furniture out, move into the dorm rooms. But the Panthers, like the majority of NFL teams, now hold training camp here in their home, at their home stadium. So we will see them out on the field tomorrow. So today kind of became a state of the franchise type vibe from general manager Dan Morgan, who actually opened with a prepared statement, and he talked about, you know, the team's expectations and goals for the season. One thing he did not mention, notably, was the word playoffs, and he was asked about that. And he basically said, look, if we take care of all the things that I just listed, those are the types of things that come with it, but it does have to be earned for this team. So what that says to me is, in year 2 under Dan Morgan as GM, and year 2 under Dave Canales as head coach, they're not going into this season with those lofty expectations. That may come next season, but make no mistake about it, they're better on paper by the moves that they made. Dan Morgan calling them targeted moves in the offseason and free agency and the draft. And they expect to compete more than they did last year when they only won 5 games, but closed the season with a strong finish. But playoffs, that may be something that they openly start stating as a goal going into next year. But make no mistake, they take playoffs this year, and there is a path to the playoffs, I think, if you really dig deep into this team.
Really exciting to see the potentials here for the team this season. I know this is probably on a little bit of a lighter note, but I always have to ask, since this is kind of a topic ever since we learned that T-Mac was coming here, have we gotten any reviews on how the weather alert days have been going over this week? Because he was talking about the humidity before. Obviously, he's coming from a much drier part of the country.
He did play college at Arizona, but the confusing part of his comment in May at rookie minicamp, when he basically said that he wasn't prepared for the humidity, and it wasn't even humid then, as you can tell it is now. He grew up in Hawaii, where it's obviously very humid. So he did kind of clear that up. I think he saw that how viral it went, and nothing to do with anything I did, but I tweeted like a somewhat blurry picture of him with the quote, and I think it got over 1 million views, because, you know, if you want to get anybody in the Carolinas going, tell them you think it's humid in May. They'll all come back at you and say, just wait. So we'll have to get his temperature on that, so to speak, when we talk to Tetairoa this week. But he's an athlete. He's prepared for it, and the Panthers are really excited to have him here.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of alluded to this before, I feel like, in your reporting this week thus far, the fact that it seems like they're going a little bit easier or easing into things so far. Is that an accurate takeaway that I have from, you know, your analysis of how training camp's going or will go this week?
Yeah, you just look at the schedule, Vanessa, and again, you know, when they were in Spartanburg, you'd go down there and it'd be 4 straight days of practice. This week, they'll practice tomorrow, they'll practice Thursday at 10 o'clock, and then they will have a walkthrough. So obviously a much lighter day on day 3 of training camp. They won't hit the pads until a little bit further into training camp, and that is by design. That's always by design. But it's really up to the head coach to kind of set how practice is structured. They have a certain amount of 90-minute practices, a certain amount of 2-hour practices, and they only have a certain amount of practices overall. Dave Canales clearly looking to kind of ramp things up. I think with all the sports science research and sports medicine that you have now, that's probably the smart way to do it, to avoid injuries heading into the regular season. But, you know, all these guys train really hard over the offseason. They have to do that on their own, but we're finding out a lot of them stayed right here in Charlotte and did it here. And that's probably a good sign for the franchise to have guys in this building. I know that's what Coach Canales wanted them to do as they broke minicamp and had that month and a half or so before training camp.
I mean, you talked about some of the differences with Spartanburg. I know we're starting to get more and more removed from that setup, but any thoughts on, I guess team building or, building camaraderie? Because I feel like, and I don't know why this sticks in my head, but I remember for many years the big enjoyment of watching folks arriving at training camp was kind of seeing like what they were bringing and like the tubs of candy and I don't know, just I'm kind of curious whether that element is kind of dropping off or they're just finding a different way to have that kind of fun.
Oh, make no mistake. There will be candy. There will be snacks. Usually it's up to the rookies. Say you're a rookie offensive lineman. Well, you're bringing in all the snacks to the offensive lineman room. We can't see it, but they can't hide it. We know that's happening. We did talk to guard Rob Hunt about the camaraderie and the team bonding, and he said it's really, really good. He was new last year. He can tell guys are getting really close. And listen, they all take time off to be with their families and take vacations before training camp. But like I said, stay in shape during that time. But there's continuity here. There's the same head coach, the same quarterback, the same general manager. It's been a handful of seasons since you could say that in Carolina. So I think everybody's more comfortable with each other, and they hope that leads to better results on the field. The one thing we did learn today, and these are always fun, Nick Scourton, who's the team's second-round pick this year, he told us he likes taking walks. So I asked him, there's some science behind that. Do you like doing that because it can help clear your head or can help you think of things that you wouldn't think of in a sedentary position? He said, no, not really. I've been trying to walk my new cat. So, of course, we had to follow up on that. So Nick Scourton is not a dog guy like we are. That's okay. So he has a Maine Coon cat, which apparently can get massive, but his is only 14 to 15 weeks old. So he has tried to put a leash on the cat and walk it. Hasn't gone according to plan so far. So if you see a very large football player walking a very large cat around Uptown, that is probably Nick Scourton and his Maine Coon cat.
You know what? I do like
These
to
are the
take
kind
some
of things
walks
we pick up on
around
in training
Uptown.
camp.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love to take walks around Uptown too. I will definitely be looking for that. You're right. That is a big cat, and it's also a pretty thick coated cat too, from what I remember. Oh, I hope that the cat's staying hydrated, but I'm sure he's got that all under control.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
All right, Nick, anything you want to leave us with before we wrap things up? I know you're standing in the sun and it's getting quite toasty out there. I was out there earlier today in the sun.
Training camp heat has not changed despite the location. Obviously no fans this year. I know fans would love to battle the heat and be out there. We're sorry not to see them for the next 2 years, unfortunately, as the Panthers continue to build their new field house that they expect to be ready by the 2027 season. There is Fan Fest August 2nd, but yeah, we'll have coverage today at 4 o'clock, and then at 5:30, just up the street, we've also got ACC Kickoff Media Days happening, and California hired a general manager heading into the season, as a lot of colleges are doing with NIL. Their general manager is none other than the winningest coach in Panthers history, Ron Rivera. So you will hear from him at 5:30. Had a great time catching up with him. I believe that entire interview is up on WCNC Plus and our YouTube page as well. And you'll hear more about Bryce Young, because what does the 2025 season pivot upon? What is the excitement really centered around? It is his improvement over the end of last season. 16 total touchdowns, 4 interceptions over his final 8 games. He found that confidence. Can he carry it into this season? So we'll hear from GM Dan Morgan on that at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be evolving. All right, Nick, we're looking forward to your reporting, and we will see you a bit later here on WCNC Plus.
You got it.
All right.
AC, 5 steps away. I'm hitting it right now.
I know. Get there. You deserve it. Oh, my goodness. It is still a toasty one, even though we are not weather alert today on that front, but nevertheless, still pretty hot.